going on? It's Kase. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Kase. Today I got a very special guest, my brother from another, DJ Sowavveyy, man. What's going on? What's going on? You good?
Life. Thank you for having me, man.
Of course, bro. How you feeling?
I'm good.
Tell us about yourself today. Like, who are you today?
Me today?
Describe yourself.
Yeah. Well, first, I'm a father first.
Mm-hmm.
That's really that's the umbrella. It all trickles down from there. As far as from a professional standpoint, I would say I'm more geared to private events, so I would say I'm more of a calm DJ these days, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, everything circles around my child, so that's Sowavvy today.
Yeah, that's good. And
Ezra.
Yeah,
so. Just
knowing you personally, bro, you've always been an amazing person, a loyal friend, and you just always look out. You have a good heart, for sure. And I want to say thank you for even coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
And likewise, I was thinking on my way here, I was thinking about that, and I was like, everybody needs a Kase in their life. It's like, you know, I told, forget who I told, but I said, if I had $1 for every time Kase asked me, like, how are you, or like, how's your mental, like, I could buy 5 guys. And, you know, 5 guys is expensive. At least like this year that you already said it. So like, I could buy 5 guys burger. That's a lot of times.
I really appreciate that. It's just the awareness and acknowledging just me as a person. I appreciate that. Because it's always intentional.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like,
absolutely.
I've known you for a while now, so like I genuinely do care about how you feel. And I know 100%. That, you know, as black men, a lot of people don't hit you up and say much.
Not at all.
And as a father, you know, JP always tell me, like, everybody was asking about the kid and the mom. They don't always ask about the dad. So I just try to check in at least once every month and a half, when I can, you know.
Absolutely.
I could always do better, but I appreciate you acknowledging.
We always could do better, but nobody's perfect, bro.
So I want to get into your story, DJ Sowavvy. How did this all begin? How was it growing up? Like, what's some of your
was there, bro.
What's some of your earliest memories? Like, what was life like for you growing up?
Yeah, well, go all the way back, just life in general, or just as a DJ?
Life in general.
Life in general, I mean,
we know DJ Sowavvy,
but you want to meet Ezra.
Yeah.
So life in general, I mean, probably similar to you. You grew up in a household where like cleaning happened on Saturdays and music was blasting, you know. So music is just life. Like I always say, music is life. Like it's in everybody's life. It makes you feel some type of way. It's the only thing that is really like universal. You know what I'm saying? And so, I just remember those early days of just hearing certain songs, especially songs that I play now, which is interesting. But siblings, running around with friends, like who I'm still cool with to this day, which is crazy. Like, you know, we're damn near about 15 years now already. So, like, you know, I still have homies that I talk to this day. We 25 years in. And so, you know, running around in a small town, everybody knows everybody. You leave, you come back before the street lights come on. Just playing a ton of sports, and like that's how we even met. Sports, just being involved, like that's what those early days really look like. Playing outside, just getting like, that's the one thing I say like kids these days don't do, is like you don't see the kids outside anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like we were outside all day, and I think that's like what built us, you know what I'm saying?
I always say like we were the last generation to actually play outside. By the time we were teenagers, we had phones.
I think that's why we are so special. Like our generation is that we had the best of both worlds. Like we grew up before anyone was carrying a phone around. Then we seen like dial up and all that stuff come about, and then, you know, by the time we were old enough, we had our phones and stuff, but we went through the whole shebang with that, like the technology. And now, I mean, technology is everything, but I feel like we got to experience that last little bit of like the sweeter times before technology messed everything up.
I agree. What was it like growing up? Like, obviously I know your dad, your mom, like how do you feel like they impacted you growing up to become this person? Like, what do you feel like they instilled in you?
Yeah, I mean, my parents weren't together when I was growing up, so I think that.
When did that happen?
Early, bro, like 4 or 5, so early. So like, and even I have more memories them not being together than I do with them being together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand that.
But just the two individuals, like they're both just very goal driven. Like, you know, they're both do very well for themselves. So I think making me independent was like the best thing they could have did. Like I remember I lived with my dad because I just wanted to stay in the area and go to school still where I grew up. And I mean, he cut me off at like 11 or 12. Like, you got to figure it out. So I remember being an entrepreneur. I think I was like 13. I used to cut lawns. Like I used to pull up, had like 5 or 6 under my belt, and that's what I would do. But really have my little bit of money just to, you know, eat when I'm outside and stuff. So really just figuring it out. I think that a lot. With saying, when I say he cut me off, like, you know, he still took his kids on vacations and all that stuff that, like, you know, that he didn't have as a kid, and he always said, I want you to do better for your kids than I did for you, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. Yeah. So like that always stuck. So I even try to instill that now, like to, all right, do what my dad did, but do it times 2, so then I can tell my kid the same thing, and that generational wealth will just continue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say with the two of them, it was just the structure of like, you know, we always guide you, but like, you know, you gotta figure it out. So that makes you strong. You gotta find your way.
You find your way. I remember my first impression of your dad, and I'm like, he's amazing, bro. Like, he was just so authentic and real.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of how my mom was, because our stories are kind of similar.
Yeah.
I don't remember my parents being together, because I was so young. But I lived with my mom. You lived with your dad.
Exactly.
But their energy to me is similar in a way.
For sure.
They can talk to anybody.
For sure.
They're the most personable people you know.
For sure.
If you need a Band-Aid, they like, I got a guy for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they are great examples of like people's people. I don't want to say a man's man or a woman's woman's,
but it's funny that you say that, because now that I think about it, like, yeah, because they both really have those the outgoing personality that like. And I think that's similar to, like, why we're similar in that sense is that our parents is like your mom and my dad, to me, are like, they're almost like your best friend, but like, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a line of respect.
There's always gonna be that line of respect, but like they created that space of like, you could talk to me about anything.
And I got your back.
I got your back. But also like, still don't curse in front of me.
Yeah.
Don't say shut up. Like, there's certain things I still don't do because I'm still nervous, because I already know. I'm like,
yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, because
I just remember thinking the difference though is that male energy.
Yeah.
So like, when your dad would talk to me, I'm like, okay. So like, his impact was immediate, because he was confident in what he said, and that was that. You wanted to listen. I feel like you possess that too when you feel like getting in that bag. Like, no, this is what we're doing. This is how it needs to be done. I think you're a great leader in a lot of ways. So you said that they helped you become independent, right? That's one of the things, because a lot of people don't know we were college roommates.
Yep.
That's the first thing I noticed from you. I feel like I became codependent and you were dependent as hell. Like, I'm always like, dang, nobody want to go to the diner hall with me. You don't care, bro. You just go. You know what I mean? That's who you were to me. You always handle your business.
Flown that way. I'm trying to not be that way now in my older years, but like, it's just, I guess I've learned that from him. Like, at a young age, I'm just gonna go do it. Like, I'm trying to be more in the now, or do things with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it was always like, it's just me. Well, what's the problem? I'm gonna sit here and eat by myself. Like,
Yeah. I feel like it's the opposite for me. I have to learn how to be more, I don't want to say selfish, but in a lot of ways selfish.
Yeah, but being selfish, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm learning that too. There's nothing wrong with being selfish, man. Like,
it's a balancing act.
But that's the stuff that we learn that, through life experiences. And I think that, like, especially now that I'm like being a lot more in tune with our mental health, and especially like as Black men, you learn we don't have the resources that a lot of people do, so we don't learn a lot of these, a lot of those things. Just about being by yourself and just sitting in certain things. Like, we try to just throw our emotions deep down and do other things
still figure it out.
and still figure it
And
out. But
never
eventually, your cup will fill up. You feel me?
Yeah, you just sit there, don't address certain things, and it'll boil over.
It'll boil over.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to learn that now again in our older years.
Absolutely. So let's take it back. So you said that they both taught you independence.
Mm-hmm.
You did a lot of sports. That's where we met. Do you remember that moment? Like when we did travel? I mean,
AAU basketball.
AAU basketball. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what led us to going to college together in the first place.
Yeah.
But just tell me a little bit about, because in the midst of that, I remember in a past interview you mentioned how when you were 9 years old, your uncle got you the
techniques, yeah.
Techniques? Turntables?
Mm-hmm.
And you ignored it for a while. And then by the time you were around 16, you kind of just got enough money to go figure it out.
Yeah.
What do you think that was? Because you could have easily...
It was foreshadow. It was a symbol, bro. Like it was like showing me like it meant something. It was there for a reason. Like why would mind you, this is a cousin of mine that like I've probably had 4 or 5 conversations with in my entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like why are you giving it to me?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I always was fascinated by DJs, but like it was something I was ever thinking about. So like it's just still ironic that like he was, I'm gonna give it to Ed, like Lil Ez, like anyone, like. But my dad, like him and my dad ran together back in the day. But to me, I feel like it was a symbol and a foreshadowing of the future. Like I mean, the DJing aside from just the fun that you have has opened so many doors.
Yeah.
For me.
So I'm saying at 16, what made you say, I'm gonna take this a little bit more serious? Let me get the stuff.
Well.
To use it?
I can't remember what made me, well, I fell in love with Jersey Club and that's what made me start to do the mixes. Yeah. But I know you hate Jersey. I know you hate Jersey Club. So I was doing the mixes in high school before I was even like calling myself a DJ, and people were like even like Jelani, like, you know, a mutual friend of ours, like Jelani, his school used to play it a lot because he went to a private school. So at one point I'm like, I have these turntables, like why I just let these gems just stay in the basement and just collect dust? Like I'm at least get them going just for at least I have them and look at it.
Yeah.
It was a while before I ended up messing with them. It was a long while. Even when I got the stuff, like it was just wasn't really there.
So what sparked your interest? Like, cause I see so many parallels in our story.
Yeah.
And my theory on life is what you're supposed to be doing was always there the whole time.
For sure.
Like when I was 4, my mom got me a drum set. When I was growing up, we used to travel to North Carolina to see my family. They used to be like, rap, rap, rap. And I would always rap. I never thought about being a rapper. I never thought about making music. I hated it. I'm like, I don't want to be like everybody else. And it just found me.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I want to know what made you take it serious eventually? Like what struck a chord in you? Or was it just like divine intervention? You kind of just got led that way.
But again, the interest, so I mean, you know the story, like when I really, really got started, and I'll reinstate it, but like it was always there. Like, and that's what I'm saying, like I always had the interest. Like as a kid, like I would get DJ toys or whatever the case may be. Like,
really?
Yeah, I had, like I remember vividly having certain toys that were just like little DJ stuff.
That's
or
crazy.
DJ like figures, and I always liked it. And I think my dad low-key wanted to be a DJ for a long, like when he was younger, he just never did it. He was a B-boy, which I think like every black dad was in the 80s.
Yeah, it's just like us doing certain things because of culture now. Yeah.
But the interest was always there. I didn't get serious until you threw me in the fire, and I think that's what it takes sometimes as one of your friends to be like, well, because how'd you know I wanted to be a DJ? Like, how'd you know I should have been DJing? Like, it wasn't like I was talking about, maybe I was when we were in school, I don't remember, but like, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I really, really, really want to do this party. Like, you were like, nah, he's a DJ, go get busy.
I just think
I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out from there.
Yeah, that's crazy that I was the one that kind of throw you in there. I do remember that too, but I just, as your roommate, even prior to that, I just felt like if there's one person who's musically inclined like me, and by that time we didn't do music. Yeah. We just loved it.
But again, do you remember that we had the recording studios in the bottom of our dorm? Yeah. So we was making songs just playing around the whole time. Naturally.
Yeah, naturally. So yeah, when the moment came, well, before we get there, because that's college time. Yeah. So we got the upbringing, we got how you got serious with music, I guess, or like how it just continued to follow you. Yeah. Let's talk about I come into the picture now. We're teammates
Yep.
for our AAU team. And then I think like a summer or two later, I'm on Instagram and I see you.
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it happened.
Go ahead.
So we were playing on the AAU team, and all of a sudden he's like, "Yo, we gonna have some kids from Old Bridge come over, blah blah." So that's when like you, Kyle, Dante, a couple other, and I'm like, who are these dudes coming and stealing our playing time? These volleyball players, right? You playing ball? I'm like,
I played that one year.
Yeah, they're like, I remember vividly a shortcut case. I said, who's this volleyball player? Like now they come over here taking our and Dante jumping out of the sky, and I'm like, nah, this is bad news. But all that to say, it was Twitter, because I remember I had posted Ryder U, and then you messaged me and you said you going to Ryder ? And I remember, do you remember at the time Ryder was doing you had to fill something out and they were trying to make you compatible with some person to be a roommate.
Like find a roommate.
So somebody was like, oh, you want a room? Like I feel like we're really compatible. And then you had messaged me just then. I was like, nah, I'm gonna go with somebody I know. Like this, at least I know you. Like I know your face. I've seen you before, even though we didn't like talk that much on the team. But then it was like, almost like, the story was already written.
Isn't that crazy? Nah, I remember that, bro. Like I said, that codependency.
Yeah.
I was going into college at 17. Mm-hmm. Bro, I did not want to go far, number one.
True, same.
And I didn't want to go without knowing nothing or nobody. So the fact that somebody I knew who don't live that far from me, they look like me.
It was perfect. It literally was perfect. And then you were already there. So like I was like, oh no, now we even going in and we already know people on campus. Because right off rip, it was me, you, Steve, and then Eric was already there.
I went like a few weeks earlier.
Yeah, so it was already it was already perfect, because I had got, you remember, and I had dropped some stuff off. Like I think I just dropped off the mini fridge and the whole nine. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I forgot I went there early that summer.
Yeah.
A few weeks, like a week or two.
So like half the
earlier.
people that we kind of still talk to this day was already there. Like Kiara was already there.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot of people.
That's crazy. You just brought that memory back. Yeah. Okay, so then we're college roommates.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
Every day. I mean,
every day.
But like that's why I say it's written, because we was naturally just doing dumb stuff, like in the room, just always blasting music. And remember, I used to be like, yo, you ever heard this song? You'd be like, bro, why? What is this? Yeah. Remember, like I was playing like the Lil Mama Bad as Hell, like songs like that. Just like we were just back and forth for music.
Nah, that's a fact. And you brought the Rocket speaker.
The Rocket speaker. I still have it.
And I got some too, but that's crazy. You still got it. It still work?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
they blow though, but
we would leave the dorm room open, the door open, and we would just blast music. Mm-hmm. And I never had a problem, because we had similar music taste. So I'm like, this is great for me.
But I think we were lucky with that dorm too, because like it was just that whole hallway was that style, like just open door policy. Yeah. Like everybody was kind of cool, so they just knew that we was the loud ones. Like,
but even that. The other thing that was divine to me is we got a lot of attention on campus.
For sure.
Without even trying to do anything. Like it was always there. But I think it's amazing how like all of these powers, we all have them, and life just teaches you how to hone in on them. You know what
I mean? That's why I say a lot of it's already written for a lot of people, because like I actually some guy was doing motivational speaking not too long ago, and I was listening to it, and he was saying that like he was just naturally born a leader. Like he would say, oh, this is what we should do, and the whole class just followed. Yeah. And not to say like that's what people were doing on campus, but like I think all of us possess those different characteristics on campus, and like people just naturally pick up on that energy.
Yeah,
so they're just like, even though they freshmen, like there's something about these young dudes or whatever. Because I remember vividly there was that senior group, and it was like, who are y'all? Like, why are y'all everywhere? And they were like mad, and I'm just like, we just us.
Bro, we was on the website and everything.
We were just being us.
Yeah,
we were just being us, and people just gravitated to that. So I mean, which is, some people just have that effect of like, if I meet Kase, I know I'm not gonna forget. I'm always remember I met Kase, and I'm gonna see if I see you again. Like I feel like no one looks like you and no one looks like me. Like certain people, you can see them and you be like, I don't know if I'll ever like remember unless I really really know this person. Like I feel like when people meet you or me, like no one really looks like us. So like they're gonna even if they remember your name, they're gonna remember your face.
Yeah, we're very unique in every way. But I think that's something that it goes back to how we were raised. We had the space to figure ourselves out early.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like my situation was, my mom had a kid young.
Yeah.
So there was times when she's at work, I got to figure it out.
Exactly.
There's times where I had to watch my younger sister. You got to figure it out. So over time, I grew character. I grew authenticity. And same for you. Your dad's like, I'm here, but you could put your shoe on by yourself. You could tie your shoe. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing. But I think that energy over time kind of made us magnetic energetically. So now we're in college, and boom, I do get approached about. I think it was something at the pub, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was the first one with Dooley.
Yeah, with Dooley. And they said they need a DJ, and I did say you. I do remember that. I didn't remember that until you started saying it.
Yeah, we did that. Ago. We did a dual part. Like it was him and I, and we just did a party together, and we all came through. We had our shirts on. Like I don't, and that's the thing. I don't know when I was like, oh, we just gonna be that Team Wavy, but it just happened at nowhere, and then just t-shirts the whole nine, and like. It was literally a whole motion just like that. And it was like, no one thought twice to be like, who put you in charge? Like no, we were just following the movement. Like, we just
create our own movements, which is no different than what we've been doing.
Exactly.
You feel me? So yeah, you start DJing, that starts to pop. You actually become, you obviously graduate. So like before you graduated, you had gigs, right?
That's college, where I grew
the most
in school. Like, when you threw me to the wolves, it's more of just the nerves of like, I didn't have anything. So I had to, go now buy the equipment and stuff. Cause like, that's what always kind of set me back a little bit, cause I never really had the stuff. So then had to figure it out. And then from there, everything jump started. The frats got on board, the sororities got on board. So I was doing all those. And then out of nowhere, I started doing concerts. Like that's when Ryder gave me the opportunity to open for Travis Scott. And that's when it just jumped from there. And then I was doing Row, which, is the club that's there. Then by the time we was 21, I was already in AC because I had the plug with Mark. So from there, I'm pulling up 100 people with me because it's no problem to have 21-year-olds. I'm 21 years old.
21 now.
Everybody wants to come and party. So like it all looked great on paper, and I was just practicing, figuring it out on the go. Like I'm doing all these frat and sorority parties, like practicing on the job. Like eventually, you'll get good at it. So
it seemed like it was a natural progression. It seemed like it was a natural progression since you kind of got thrown in the fire after a while. But I will say, what made you want to keep going though? Was it just an innate thing?
I would say more of the.
Like, what was the intent behind it?
Didn't have one. I literally, I was making money, listening to music, doing things that I loved anyway. I felt great because in my back of my mind, I always wanted to be a DJ. So I'm doing it now, and it's popping off. Like, why would you stop?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the natural love of music has always kept me going. Because it gets old for sure, like anything else. Sometimes you got those days you're like, bro, I don't want to do this anymore. Especially if you get very stagnant. But that's when you just gotta go, bring it back and start with the basics and like, why are you here in the first place? And like that's what I love about DJing is that you'll never be perfect at it. There's no such thing as a perfect beat.
It's always
there's always something. Yeah. You can always have someone who doesn't like what you're playing, but there's always so many different people out there. So. It's always a challenge, and that's what I love about it. When it starts getting easy, that's when it's not fun. You feel me?
So what were some of the challenges you ran into during that time period? From, doing the pub to then opening for Travis Scott. Is this around the time you opened for A Boogie too? Because I pulled up. Or was that a little bit after?
Nah, it was a little bit after that. Okay. Like that was maybe like 2 years after Travis Scott, but like it's all in the same 4-year time period of school. So, but challenges wise, I mean, like anything else is probably time. Like
I'm just because there's gonna be DJs watching this. I want them to see like when you first starting, this is what you're gonna run into. Like how did you find your style? You know what I mean? Like these are challenges.
So that's the thing, and like this is me being transparent with you. Like, the biggest challenge for me is that I'm a black DJ, bro, and like and the industry is what's a good word to use, but I would just say like. Bro, I don't care, but the industry is racist, bro, and they like we don't want a hip hop DJ, but it's fine if you don't look like me to play hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
or don't play too much hip hop. I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, I could play anything. Like, you didn't even get a chance to meet me.
So prejudice.
Like, so yeah, I was gonna use it, but I just went straight to the hard word. Like, I really don't care, bro.
Yeah.
But
that's
like,
how we give it up on Conversation with Kase. What you talking about?
But that's one of the biggest challenges I've always had with the just getting into the industry. That really just built, like anything else, building those relationships. Relationships are everything in the industry, bro. It's not even who you know, it's who knows you. You feel me? So like, you gotta speak with everyone. You gotta be on good terms with everybody, even with people you don't like. You never know what that person is capable of doing or who they know, whatever the case may be. So it's all those things in one that just make it difficult, and that's when those things are all combined with just trying to just fall in love with the music is sometimes it gets blocked off because like there's a lot of politics. It's everything's politics.
So you're dealing with the politics of it while you're still trying to figure out who you are as a DJ and who you are as a person. You're only 20, 21, 22 years old at this time.
Yeah.
Was there a time you like, I'm done with it. I can't do this no more? Like, did you hit a space where you like, this is a lot?
Not until like last like year or two where, well, yes. So I would say even before I became a parent,
I'm just saying in that time period.
In that time period, no, because you're just young and it's fun at that time. So like if you're young and you're partying and you're basically partying for free. Like I was never really a partier, but like I'm opening up doors for my friends to come with me and basically have fun, and I'm making money too, and I'm not really. There was times I was tired and whatever, but like it wasn't until you kind of get older and you feel like, all right, this is getting old.
Yeah.
So at that time period, no, it's cool because everything is still new.
Yeah.
So and the politics at that time weren't as loud because I'm giving them what they want. They're like, oh, if I book Wavy, I'm getting 150 people through the door. I'm good. It's not until like they're like, oh no, I gotta pay you what you want now because you have a name for yourself. Maybe you don't care to promote it as much anymore because you get to. So like that's when the stuff starts to doing. You know what I'm saying?
Real politics. Of
Yeah.
The like self-serving part of it. It's the same in the industry I'm in, bro. Like I agree. The first 5 years, it's like. It's all new. You're still learning.
It's the honeymoon stage.
Yeah, it's Once you find your setting, your seat in it, and you're just like, hold up, this is pay to play. In my industry, it's like we still in the music industry together, but it's two different. So
it's too big. No, it's very night and day.
Yeah. So I'm like, I will get people will email me about, I want to write an article about you, but then there's other articles where they're like, you could pay us. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Or there's other things like literally everything in the music industry is pay to play. And that's when it got exhausting for me. So tell me the time where this got exhausted too. You said the past year or two?
Yeah, because when you realize...
Me too, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. When you get older, you realize the most important thing you have is time. And like, you got to put in that work to get where you're going. But when you put in that work, you're lacking in other areas. When you become, especially now that I'm a parent, like, the majority of my time, I want to, especially if I'm not working, I want to be with my child. I don't want to be in a club till 3 a.m. And then naturally, when you get older, you tired. So it's like, I'm like, bro, I do not, unless I'm getting paid a certain amount of money, I will not be in your club.
Yeah.
And like, that's when I was like, all right, I want to go to the private event because I can still make the money, way more money, and be home at a decent hour. And I go, also kind of move and shake how I want. Like I don't have to just sit here and be in these clubs, and then it's, bro, getting home at 3 or 4 in the morning all the time is crazy.
And you're a new dad too?
Yeah, and you're doing it, bro. No, it's not. It's just not. And it doesn't align with the life either. So like, there's people who do it, and like, shout out to them, but it's a very small, it's very niche, bro. Yeah. It's very niche.
I want to talk about that though. Let's pause, like, because we still by the college when you first started right now. We're still there. Yeah. But when you say it doesn't blend with the life, I feel like I'm in the same boat. Like you want the kids, the marriage, the homie vibes, but the industry is the complete opposite of it. Like people kind of don't even want to be next to you if you're on that positive thing. You know what I mean? Or they might not talk to you as much because you got it going on in that area.
Yeah.
How have you battled with that? Because me personally, it's such a push and pull. It's such a push and pull because you want to be home doing homey things.
Yeah.
But the grind calls for you, bro.
But then that's what I say. You're doing it already because you're paving your own lane. Like you gonna figure it out how you want to figure it out. And I think it's gonna be a harder journey, but at least you'll be happy and you'll feel it's just fulfilled exactly. Because like if you just doing it because it's gonna get you to the finish line quicker, and I mean, what is that really doing for you? It's not feasible,
it's not
bro.
Worth it.
It's not worth it. And like you're gonna burn yourself out because you really don't even want to be there. So then you find yourself more like you'll be lacking in certain areas because you generally don't want to be there. Like imagine I'm your DJ at your wedding. I really don't want to be there, bro. Like you gonna feel it. Like I'm the vibe, but night. So yeah, I think you just have to pave your own lane.
I think what you're describing is work smarter, find new ways.
Well, yeah, and that too. I mean, definitely work smarter, and that's what I also have learned throughout the years. Yeah. But you gotta just figure out what you want to prioritize, and like that'll tell you your calling. I would say like you're gonna know what you want to do.
Yeah,
you know, and like it might be rap might have just been the foundation, but it's more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna just get you to what you really supposed to be doing, what your real calling is.
I feel like we're in similar boats. I was telling Brandon that Kevin Hart, I just heard him say like, creatively, you tap out. He's like, I can't go on stage and do that for so many years. Eventually, I gotta be creative in other areas. I might have to call The Rock, like, yo, let's do a movie together.
Exactly.
And I feel like we did that subconsciously.
Yeah.
There was a time I'm putting out albums. There's a time where you're just DJing. Every week you got something going on. It felt like every day there's a new flyer.
Yeah.
And then there was a time where we decided, let's bring it together.
Exactly.
Do you remember that? Do you remember how that started?
The
Wave of Gems 1?
Yeah.
How far was that since from the Travis Scotts and all of that stuff? How far
Wave
was
of
that?
Gems 1 was that
21, I think?
So that's 2022.
2022?
So,
okay.
Damn, like what, almost 5-6 years.
So what happened in that 5 years then? Like, because in my perspective, you did AC, Firefly. You was actually going crazy. Tell me some of the things you did leading up to that. Actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, so you gotta think about it. Contract with AC, Firefly Music Festival. So doing that every year.
For the people who don't know what AC is.
Atlantic City, for the people who don't know. So Atlantic City, Harris Pool is probably one of the largest venues in the country. So I mean, big acts, like we were doing big acts. Like I think the biggest event I was a part of was Ja Rule and Ashanti.
I was there.
And that was, they had 4,000 people, but there was like 8,000 waiting.
Bro, it was like, people in the pool everywhere.
It was nuts. It doesn't hold 4,000. But yeah, Firefly. I mean, I was DJing at many different schools, like through this other agency the same agency that was booking me for Firefly. I mean, you gotta think about it. Travis Scott, A Boogie, that time with Davies that you came with me to.
Damn, yeah.
Saw Baby, who's popped up again. Like I was back. Well, he was popping when he had pull up with the stick, but just many, like even people who are now like traveling the world doing this stuff. Like I started with them, like Foreign. Like you met Foreign. Like Foreign is
my guy.
He's banging out here in these streets right now.
Yeah.
So like just many, whatever you could think of, I did it. You know, and I think that's what some people when they're calling is something different. Like, you know, you will hit those different milestones, but you always want more, and you're like, you know, you're just kind of checking off a box. I think I learned that like the industry, it all sounded good. It was fun when I was younger, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do, or it wasn't really me. So
in what ways?
Just the consistency of being out like to be hot, you gotta be out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just that whole standpoint, that was never me. That was never us. Our whole group, and we learned that quick. Why we all kind of stuck together is because we were like, I don't care if it's a Friday night. We'd rather be in playing Smash Bros and
video games, doing something else, just laughing,
listening to music, chilling, like rather than going out to a party or whatever.
So you basically realize it don't matter what profession you pick, it's still a rat race.
Yeah, you're gonna be you. You're gonna,
it's a hamster wheel.
It's
you have to keep going
it's
to
definitely
maintain.
a hamster wheel. So.
Or at least that's what they push. Because like now we're starting to go about it in our own ways, understanding that I'm the energy. It's not me what I do. It's me.
Exactly.
So you get to dictate.
Exactly.
And I think that's where we're at. So all right. So yeah, you turned up. You went crazy. You went on that rat race,
I did it all.
On that hamster wheel, and you did a lot.
But you gotta remember, just like anything else, you have a what is the word I'm looking for? But basically, lack of better terms, a certain amount of time to really, really pop off, and then that next group of people just come. Like everything, has its time. It's a cycle. Everything has its time. So I had my time. I could have went a couple ways with it, but again, a lot of it, relationships, certain people lose positions of power, whatever the case may be. And like, if people don't want to book you because I'm not necessarily close to you, there's nothing I can really do about it. It's not, a lot of it now has nothing to do with the talent. You know what I'm saying? And also, I've learned that like, some people who are really there, really put that work in. And like, I was just, again, naturally just being me and playing for the love of music. I wasn't doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Like I was never practicing. I was never doing any of that. So a lot of it was me too. Like I never practiced as a DJ. So like that stuff was me.
You sure? I've been to your house, bro. You just get on the turntables and just chill a little bit.
When unless we just playing around, but like I never do that on my own time.
Oh damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if there's like an audience, yeah, sure, I'm gonna play because people probably
You're just
see
naturally
it,
nice.
But I learned on the job, like so.
A lot of people learn on the job. We never want that. But I think you practice without actually practicing. Like you have an ear for music. Like,
I'm listening. I'm always listening. Yeah, I'm always listening.
It's a natural practice.
Yeah, that's natural.
I want people to know that. Like you are naturally gifted. So, because I'm the same way. Like if I'm not in the studio, I'm okay. That's a nice sound. All right. And words are coming to my brain.
And then you blending them together, maybe. Like at least that's what I'm doing in my head. So like, most people have natural. Like people ask me, is it hard to be a DJ? I'm like, you have rhythm. I'm like, yeah, yes or no. I'm like, well, if you have rhythm, you can do it. Figure it out. But it doesn't mean you're gonna be good. But you're gonna figure it out. If you got rhythm, it's just not. It's everything is a count. It's just like with rap, it's a 4 count. Like everything is the beats. Like, but again, if you don't have an ear for music, you're just not going to be a good DJ because you're not going to be able to paint that picture while you DJ, and that's what most people want.
How did you learn to paint the picture though? Because different crowds need different versions of you and different sounds. So how do you know how to paint that picture for what crowd? Like how do you feel your way through that? Or is it a natural thing?
It's a natural thing, but also it's just being observant. Like, and that's just naturally just being, I guess, us again, is that people try to pigeonhole themselves, and that's what you asked me, how'd you know your lane? Like I always just studied music. People want to be specifically a house DJ, a hip hop DJ, this DJ. Like I never was me. Like I always wanted to just play music, so I could just look in the crowd and I'm like, these people are from here and these people from, like I was like, how do I make all this work and all sound still good? So like that's always been my goal. So that's always what I guess set me apart. Like I'm like, it made me mad when people try to say like, oh, you're a hip hop DJ. I'm like, I play a lot of hip hop because that's what the people want to hear. That's not my problem. But I could play anything.
Yeah, I've seen you play anything.
Want that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. To me, the people I hang around, bro, I feel like I could let y'all do your job and y'all gonna kill it. Like Brandon, like if he's behind the camera like he is right now, I don't have to worry. Like, when you're the DJ at an event that we're doing, I already know he's gonna kill this, he's gonna turn it up. So let's start talking about that. Wave of Gems 1. Yes. We decide, let's put our forces together, put our networks together, and do our own event. Cut out the middleman, and go from there. Do you remember how that started, that conversation?
Well, yeah, like what a lot of our conversations is that we kind of get fed up with what's going on in the now, and then we talk about it. How do we make it better? That's just so.
Back to figuring it out. Figuring it out as a kid.
One, we tired of giving people our money. because that's what you learn in both our industries, is that people just take from you and it's never reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
2, everything is looking the same. Music is sounding the same. These DJs sound the same. 3, people want to see us do work together. And 4, like, how do we give back to the people who've been supporting us? So, like, all that to say, why don't we just throw our own party, make it sound how we want it to sound, cut everybody else out, still do well with it, but also, like, not knock people over the head, because that's what the places do too.
Yeah.
So all that to then throw a party, and I think we did pretty well.
We did pretty well. I think the first one we did over 300 people.
Over 300, yeah.
Which is unheard of. I remember going in there like, yo, we really like that.
Yeah.
But even prior to that, with the Mr. East, what made you want to bring me on? Like, I think I did 2 with you and Mark at the time.
So everything is like, I always say it's chess. So, like, for me, it was more or less, I knew I'm always trying to put my people on. So if I can ever give someone a platform, I'm gonna try to do that I love, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna do it. But it also made sense. Like, again, that was another area of where we were putting on our own party. So I'm like, what's going to make sense? You was gonna be there anyway. Now it's just gonna make it even better, because, like, now more people are like, oh, you know what? Not only do I want to see us, but, like, I know Kase too. We from the same area.
Yeah.
It all made sense. And then that's why we did it a second time, because, again, now we're in a whole, that was like just, we all just trying to figure it out. So boom, the first one. When the second time was like, now I'm here. Like, I've done this before.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna see me at my best. You saw me before, like, where I'm good at what I do, but I'm still in the trenches right now. Now, when you got back on that stage from the second time, it was it felt totally different.
Yeah, both of us. Both of us.
So it's cool to see stuff like, you know, like that. So especially where Mr. East was such a staple, like, you know, you can say I performed at Mr. East before, like, whether or not it's not the same place, it's still a staple in New Jersey. Like, you know, that's on your resume.
100%. That's what I just had a meeting the other day. The guy like, you need more Instagram followers to build your credibility. I said, I have ticket sales.
Like, what do I need?
I know how many people I could put their ass in the seat, sir.
Yeah, like, why would I need more followers who potentially look at my stuff?
Yeah, because that's what they go off of.
Exactly.
So he got offended. He ended up, like, rushing me off the phone because he can't sell 100 tickets.
Yeah.
He's never done it.
Yeah.
But he has 100,000 followers.
But what does that do for
Come
you?
on, bro. Again, I just stick to my process. I know what God told me. I know the work I put in.
Exactly.
Everybody has their day, good or bad. If you're doing bad your whole life, you're going to have your day. You're doing good your whole life, you're going to have your day. So it's just best to just stay patient and wait for it. But okay, so we did the Wave of Gems. We did the Mr. East. Obviously, we kept going with all of that. You become a dad.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how did you feel?
I mean,
can I tell you how I felt?
I can tell you how I felt. I can tell you why she's here. Like,
let me tell you how I felt as a friend. As a friend, because you and JP kind of both hit me, and y'all was becoming dads at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these are some of my closest friends. What the heck? I immediately started feeling like, yo, should I start having one? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, or like,
but,
am I gonna hang out with y'all?
Yeah, like, am I losing these guys? What's going on? But y'all gave me the most beautiful niece and nephew I could ever imagine. And, you know, I'm gonna always be there, especially if you need me any way possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But more so, I was just proud that y'all, as black men, put your big boy pants on and like, I'm here. Because there's so many times where we don't see that, or the male is playing around, or even the woman is playing around. But, you know, I just felt like y'all were great examples of owning up. Whether you wanted to or didn't want to own up at the time, you did. Whether you were battling your own things, y'all stood tall in it, and y'all became examples of a father.
Yeah, absolutely.
And y'all kind of ushered in a new generation. So, like, how did you feel Because as your friend, I was extremely proud and happy.
Yeah, but like these are conversations that we've had, and we've always had those type of intellectual conversations where our past or our upbringing was either one parent or both your parents are present, but they're not together. So we always were trying to break generational curses of like, nah, that's not what we want for our kids, because like it's such a thing that's prevalent in in our community. And for me, I mean, I always wanted to bring up my child in a two-parent household, whatever the case may be, to break those curses. But I feel like in that time when it happened, not only was I in a good place just in my life where I knew I could provide for my kid, but like I didn't have, when it's real when you don't have any negative thoughts to it whatsoever. Like when I got out the news, I was like, all right, well, what do we do from here? Like, how do we figure it out?
Let's get it.
And it was like, yeah, no, and what I tell everyone is that you're never going to be ready. So it's not putting on your big boy pants. Like it's really just that things are just gonna switch. Like you're gonna have the way that you go about life and your time and all that stuff. All those things are gonna change, but it's your child. I would hope so. You naturally going into love.
But that's why I say big boy pants, because everybody ain't on that time, bro.
But when are you on that time?
I'm saying,
but that's what I'm saying. You're always going to trying to figure something out or getting to a new level. So when are you really going to be ready? Because whether you 28,
damn,
you're getting up there. Whether you 28 or 38, the news is still going to be the news. You're going to be like, oh, whoa, I'm having a bit. Like,
yeah, but you don't have to take it serious. That's what I'm saying. I'm here. Some people.
It's serious though.
Yeah, not for everybody, bro.
It's serious though.
Not for everybody.
You're gonna make a decision whether you're gonna do it or not. Like, I mean, you're gonna make the decision. What I'm trying to say is that you're gonna have to grow up anyway. Especially if the baby's coming. Like, nah, it's a human that's on the way. So you're gonna have to figure it out.
But I don't want you to diminish your choice to be there, though.
No, I'm not.
So many people know they gotta grow up and they don't.
I'm trying to encourage you that it's a difficult journey, but it's not hard to love your child. Like, you're gonna naturally do that.
Bro.
So what I'm trying to tell you is you're just the way you go about life is just going to change, and change is okay, because like I tell everyone, there's no such thing as balance. Balance is trying to be perfect. You're trying to give everything that's similar,
the same weight.
Yeah. You're not going to do that. You're always going to fall short somewhere. So it's just going to be something different in your life you're going to give a bunch of time to, and something else is just going to go down. So you're just not going to give as much time and effort to something else, and that's all right.
That's okay, yeah. Do you feel like, do you still make time for yourself though?
I've learned to.
You've learned to.
But it takes time.
How do you go about like making sure that you're okay? Because when you have a kid, obviously there's a whole human being that depends on you in a lot of ways. Sometimes it's hard as a parent, not to say I am one, but I've heard that it's hard to worry about you sometimes.
Oh, it's very hard, but you have to learn, again, you have to learn that. And that's what I think that like, somewhere in my calling, I would love to try to educate, now that I'm learning more about myself. So like, I go to therapy now to like, and just not even that I feel like something wrong with me, just more to just get an understanding, and that's helped me tremendously. It's like also with the gym, like I make sure, again, I have to go to the gym at 6 a.m. I have to, and that's for my time, for me, and it's the only time I'm gonna be able to go. If I don't go at that time, that's not happening. So though you have to make those decisions, and that's what I mean. Like certain things are gonna change. Oh, my gym schedule has to be 6 a.m. I have to get in, I have to be back before she's up. Like you know that, but I think that's where the conversation of like mental health comes in, and when people have to stop trying to essentially neglect that it's okay not to be okay, and like people try to bury that. And the more that you try to seek the quote unquote help and speak to someone, then that's when you'll start to kind of learn. And I'm learning that now more in my older age, and I would love for I wish people taught us young black men as a kid, like, oh, this is the stuff that you're gonna deal with, especially when you're being with someone, or like, your woman's pregnant or you're having a kid, like all that stuff is real. And we just don't have those resources. So, and like, you can read as many books as you want, but it's not going to prepare you for the real thing.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So like, you're gonna have to go through it.
Yeah, but you'll have a better sense if you have that guidance. Or
For sure.
Yeah,
You'll be a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, you'll be more prepared, but there's no way you could prepare for it because it just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah. So I'm happy that you spend more time with yourself. Tell me how how has fatherhood changed you, if it did?
Well, everything I do now is from to set up my daughter now. So at one point it was more like, oh, I want to be here, I want to be here, I want to be here. But now I'm like, no, we want to be there, or I want to have different things to pass down to her. So everything I do for her, like I name my company after her. Like what my purpose in life now is her. You know what I'm saying? My daughter. So like that's how everything has changed, I would say. I mean, you also think about twice before you do anything now. Like you're like, no, I gotta make sure, like someone else depends on me. So I just gotta make sure all my decisions make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
has that been a hard transition for you, or was it happened naturally a lot?
It happened naturally.
Happened naturally.
Some people, and I can't say, I just want to, what I'm trying to say to people is, it happens more naturally than you think. Like the same thing is like, I've never changed a diaper before in my life, and I was changing diapers like crazy. And as soon as she came out, like just like natural, like, and I always in my brain, I'm like, I'm gonna pass out when I see like poop, like for the first time. Bro, I knew I changed when I was a parent. Like she like spit up and like threw up at one point, and I just caught it in my hand like this, and just went like, and like just threw it in the sink like that, and just went back to what I was doing, and I had to stop and laugh. And I'm like, yo, I'm really a parent. Like, I don't even think twice.
Don't phase you?
It doesn't phase me, but like, she has pooped on me, she has peed on me, she has thrown up on me, the whole night, and none of it, like, but you don't even gag, like, and nothing. Like, that's when it's so natural when you want to be there.
Yeah.
It's so natural. It's so natural.
Damn, yo, y'all make me I want to be a dad. I really do.
I hear you.
I do. Look, I'm just put it out there in the universe. I do. Okay. In the right way. In the right way.
Hey, man.
That's something I want to.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
You put the lime in the coconut, right?
Yeah, it's not hard. But hey, man, it's not hard. It's not hard to make a baby.
That's so funny, bro.
Dude, knock yourself out, brother.
But nah, that's crazy, bro. But damn, I don't know. Do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to ask? It's just conversations, bro.
Yeah. Is this next for you?
What?
This seems natural for you. No, well, no. Oh, but yes, I know a kid is gonna be for that next week eventually. But this seat.
Yeah. I think this is who I am. Like you've had conversations with me.
You gonna be like Kase Ellen? Like, you feel like you
Kase, bruh.
Yeah. Do you foresee yourself doing something?
I foresee myself being everything, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like even what I went to school for was I was a communication major, business minor. This is who I am as a person.
Jack of all trades, why not?
But I think I got a lot of wisdom that only my friends and family see. So it's time to just bring it out.
Bring it out, yeah.
But yeah, this is also a natural progression for me.
But it's supernatural because I've watched and you're good at pivoting. We're having a conversation, you always pivot back to where you like that's the hardest thing for people. People like to ramble and then they lose train and you just start talking, but you know how to bring it back. It's all pivoting. You learn that in business. You have to learn how to pivot and bring it back to the main objective of what we're trying to accomplish. And you do that naturally. And most people have to be taught or go to school to be taught that to learn how to pivot. It's actually crazy. And it's crazy how sports also kind of like when you think about when I say the word pivot, you think about the fundamentals of basketball. It's the fundamentals of communication.
Bro, literally, I knew I was meant to talk when I did at Ryder. I had a public speaking class.
Shut the hell up in the room, bro. Being his roommate, you know.
But at my public speaking class, I had like a 105 in that class. Like every time I would get up to talk, everybody laughing, they serious, they crying. I'm like, yo, my voice can really change a crowd.
But it's interesting because you would think the same thing about me. Because of what I do, and people always say, like, "Oh, you're probably an amazing public speaker," and I was like, "If I don't have structure, yeah." I was like, "I can get up and DJ in front of 4,000 people and not think twice. I can, at work, I can sit there and I could talk to 100 people I don't know about something I'm knowledgeable about, and if I have a presentation behind me and I gotta read it or like read from a piece of paper, like it's not gonna work. So I'm like, you're wrong. No, I don't like the public speaking. I'm not good at it. To me, I'm not good at it. So it's crazy because like you would sit there and say, if I told you, oh, go DJ in front of 4,000 people, you probably be like, what? And like freak out. Like, I mean, you don't have stage fright, but you know what I'm saying. Like probably way before Kase, we'll have stage fright.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's something I had to work through. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I feel like if you don't get a little bit nervous, you might not care.
Yeah, I don't.
Just a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, there's certain people who just make it look supernatural. I don't know if that they experience that feeling of being nervous or anxiety, but if they don't, like, I feel like this to make you human.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You feel me? Like before my shows, bro, I get like a feeling in my stomach, but my mind overpowers any other feeling.
That same feeling I got right now from the Chinese.
My mind always overpowers anything that I'm feeling. But yeah, so I mean, that's really it, bro. I just wanted to catch up with you, have a conversation, and see who DJ Sowavveyy is. But my last question is, what's next for you? Like, let's say where are you now? How do you feel now? How is your mental health?
Yeah, no, I feel.
So now I don't gotta call you this.
Yeah, you gotta call me now.
You good?
I'm good. I'm in such a better space because I'm now taking care of me too. Aside from all the things I've been taking care of, but as far as like work and my child, but I feel like now things are starting to make sense. But what's next? I mean, I have my entertainment company, but what I want to do next, and it's funny that we're sitting in these seats, is that like I want to make that basically the umbrella to many different things, and the main goal is to have a creative space from that. Mm-hmm. So like still do what I do, DJ, send DJs out, but really house it in a creative space, and that looks like, shoot, you want to come set up, book your wedding with me in this space, and we can do that. But Kase is next door in my building, filming right now because I have the equipment for that there, and JP is down in the other room doing a photo shoot
or analytics, helping you with
or
your
whatever,
business.
or there's a podcast going on in the other room right now. That's why the on air sign is on, and like my team, my driving team, who drives all the equipment to the stuff, they're over there playing basketball in the venue too, because they don't have anything to do at the moment, and they're waiting for 3:00 to load up. Like, that's the main goal. So I would love that.
That's my goal too.
Yeah.
Somebody literally told me at one of my interviews in New York, he's like, you should have a media company, be a media brand that has everything. So if I hit you up and I need a manager, you got someone to plug me in. If I need a photographer, if I need a DJ,
one-stop shop.
I told Brandon this too, man. I told him, I'm like, listen, we gotta link up with Ez, bro, because we all have something to offer.
For sure.
To artists or to anyone.
For sure.
But other than that, your mental health is good. You in good shape. You been in that gym.
I've been in the gym.
I see my boy putting on some pounds.
I've been in the gym, yeah, bro. I got some good weight now. I just gotta get it down.
Yeah. So how did you feel about your episode with Kase?
I always enjoy sitting down and speaking with you because we have the history, bro, and and you know what's funny? Like even on my way here thinking about it, I'm like, it's the same concept of like the people you're closest to, you have no pictures with. Because you're like, I see you all the time, but I gotta take a picture with you. But it's like the same concept of like, think about as many close friends you have, and you're like, yo, what do they really do for a living? Because I know you work, but like I never really asked you like, what is your job title? Because just like certain questions you feel like are, I don't want to say you're overstepping the boundary, but it's like you don't ask those like specific questions because you feel like you don't have to, because I always see you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, nah, I like when we do stuff like this because we're gonna sit down and actually try to dive deep and kind of get an understanding, or just even really, really talk, because when we're together, we're usually just shooting the shit.
Yeah, or just checking in.
And just checking in, like, and like, what is our check-in? You good? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah, I'm good.
All right, hit you up.
All right, let me see, I'm fine with you.
I'm fine with you.
So it's the same concept.
Yeah, nah, I understand. But I just want to say I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you.
Love you from the bottom of my heart.
Bro.
You've always been a great person. I'm
very
proud of
mutual.
you.
Very mutual.
I'm proud of you and everything that you've accomplished. I'm proud of you being a great dad. And I try to like say these things because I'm one of those people who really live by life is short.
Yeah.
I don't play about that.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched somebody take their last breath in my face, you know what I mean? So like, I don't play about that, and I try to give everyone their flowers.
Give their flowers while they're here.
And you, sir, you deserve your flowers. You feel me?
Thank you.
So,
What kind of flowers are they?
yes, sir. I don't know, but you deserve it.
Thank you.
But I'm proud of you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing. It's all love here, man.
Love you, bro.
Love
Proud
too,
of you.
man. You already. That's it. Conversations with Kase, featuring my brother DJ Sowavveyy.
Yeah.
We out of here. Appreciate y'all.